It was the day of July 1st, 1998. My friends and I were on a Boy Scouts camping trip for the 4th of July to set off fireworks. It was your usual camping trip, except on the 4th of July, that's when I got the Aliso tape in my hands. We were looking for a location to set out fireworks at. It actually took us about 3 hours to look for a spot, because there were a lot of trees in the campsite and really not empty space for us to place all of our fireworks equipment. We couldn't set off the fireworks in the area we were sleeping at because of the tree line. It was probably the worst 3 hours of my life. I was tired and exhausted for walking so long. This wasn't fun at all. Just imagine hiking for 3 hours nonstop and looking by passing trees. But there was one thing that immediately made my friends and I jump with excitement. We saw an old and abandoned house. We were around 12 to 14 at the time, so naturally we loved scary movies. We figured that the abandoned house would be haunted. We really wanted to go inside it. We had the best chaperone, and then he was really interested in going inside of it too. As we went in, the house had probably been abandoned for 10 or 20 years ago. It looked like a building after an earthquake. We walked inside the house, but it was not empty as expected. Not empty at all. It looked as if people had just evacuated all and left their old belongings behind. There were toys on the ground and food in the pantry that no longer functional refrigerator. That sounds disgusting, but as a 12-year-old boy, I thought it was awesome. But I think it was all pretty scary in our group, as I always had been the last one to walk inside the rooms of the house. But I did not do that when we were entering the attic of the house. The attic was probably the scariest part looking too. The attic caught my attention by the holes and rips on the door leading to it. It was pretty obvious that termites had eaten up the place over the years. As we entered the attic first, terrified, there were only holes in the walls, no distinguishing features. The attic room was probably empty. There was probably nothing in it, or at least I thought. I got my flashlight from my backpack and turned it on. Dead in the corner center of the room floor, there was a little videotape. I picked it up and it was a little dirty, but not damaged. It would be easily to clean. It had a sticker on it that was written Aliso. I had no idea what that meant. I picked up the tape and placed it in my pocket. I showed it to my friends, but not the chaperone, because I feared he would tell me to place it back and I wouldn't get to take it. After the camping trip, I took the tape and cleaned it off with just a can of compressed air. After I cleaned it, I grabbed my camera, took a picture of me holding it, just for the sake of it. Finding something in the middle of nowhere in an abandoned house was obviously an instance that you would take your camera out. I then placed the tape into my VCR. It looked as if it was been made in the 1990s. It took a minute to load, but then it started. The footage began as it looked like a school play or assembly or something. The only thing unusual about the tape was the audio quality, to which it was horrible. Even for VHS, the video quality looked as if it had been tampered with, and the audio was virtually inaudible. I couldn't understand a word anyone was saying. There was obviously something wrong with the camera. The clip would violently twitch out to their scenes in the play. That didn't really bother me, not until the footage turned into static. The footage next went on to another clip, with the worse quality than the other clip. But this clip was related to the previous one. I couldn't really tell where it was. All I could hear was the sound of what seemed like laughing in the background of the video. An evil laughing. The clip again went to static for about 3 seconds, then moved to the next clip, which it showed the camera sauntering towards the music box with what looked like a dancing clown on it. This is when I knew things were getting creepy. During the clip, the two sick and horrifying images interrupted the camera for a split second. It then showed the whole marathon of disturbing pictures that went on for about 2 seconds. It showed 1 second long video that scares me still to this day. It showed a video of a woman who looked like she had polo dancing with an umbrella. This went on and throughout the video. I couldn't speak and got up to try and stop the video before I could see anything else. I was about to turn off the YouTube, the player, of course. I lost the remote. I was way too scared to go up to the TV and turned it did because I feared that the woman would pop up the camera again. And she did. It was wearing a clown hat like the one the clown was wearing from the music box. She started walking towards the camera, looking at me. That's when the video ended. Then I took the tape out as fast as I could and shoved it into that safe that I never used. I placed this safe into my garage and in the back with all my family's random junk. 9 years and several therapy sessions later, probably unrelated, but who knows, I found my brother messing with the tape. I asked him on how he found it and how he got into my safe. He told me that I left a sticker that had the password for my safe, so he managed to open it to get the tape. He was messing around with that, and he was making a video called Obey the Walrus, and that when he was going to upload to YouTube. My brother made wacky videos, and then he placed the tape back in my safe. 6 years later, my wife, my son, and myself went to my parents' house for Easter. My dad asked me to go to the garage to get a screwdriver from the back of the garage. I immediately saw it there, sitting right on top of my old safe. I decided to take the safe home and take the tape out. That's how I was reminded of this whole strange experience. What you see can't be unseen.